What's up, y'all? In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through a few simple steps to make your text-based graphics look a lot less boring using Procreate for iPad, plus the mockups and brushes that I use. I'll be sure to link them in the description below if you guys want to check them out. Today's concepts are all about locking in some key design fundamentals, especially when it comes to working with fonts, but still giving yourself plenty of creative freedom to flip it and use it however you'd want to in any of your personal creative projects. I really hope you guys can learn something from this, so be sure to follow along and let's jump right into it. Alright, so first things first, before we get started, of course, we want to go ahead and set up our canvas for today. And today's canvas that we're going to be working on is going to be 4,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels at 300 dpi. Now that we have our blank canvas, let's go ahead and set this up so we can prepare it for our designs and concepts today. So I'm going to go up here to our actions menu, and then I'm going to go to canvas, turn on that drawing guide, and now we're going to edit that drawing guide. We're going to go all the way down here to the end to symmetry, make sure that's turned on, which is going to put a line straight down the center, which is going to help us keep everything on track and very centered for today's concepts. And before we get into our actual designs, let's go ahead and set up our mockup. So I'm going to go to Quattro's Tops from Quattro's Procreate Mockup Pack. I'll be sure to link all the mockups and brushes I use in this tutorial if you guys are interested in them, but I'm going to be using the double layer T front brush like I said, and we're just going to tap that down one time on our screen pretty firmly. So we see here that there's a blue and green dot, and that designates the center of our mockup, and we just want to align that with the center line from our symmetry, which is the center of our canvas, which is going to be very helpful for our process. So now we can just expand this to size once those two are lined up, and I think a size like that looks pretty good. Okay, so now what I want to do is go ahead and rename this. Let's call this our outline layer, and we're going to duplicate this and lock that top one down. So now that we have our two outlines, what I want to do is create a new layer, and this is going to make up our base color for our mockup today. So I'm thinking just a very simple kind of like a pasty blue, somewhere probably in this area I think could be cool. Okay, and we're just going to drop that and drag it right onto our canvas. And now we want to take this color layer and make sure it's below all of our outline layers. So it should be at the very bottom like so. And now from here, we can do is merge this unlocked outline layer with our color, and that's just going to be a pinch together. And now we can go up here to our selection tools, turn on automatic, and just tap down one time. And what that should do is change the color of our background, which will make it a lot easier for us to go ahead and drag this right off of our canvas so we can just see what we're working on here with our double layer T. And I do want to change the sleeve color of our T as well. So what I want to do is first, let's go ahead and rename this. Let's just call this our base, and also make sure this is set to drawing assist as well. So we have drawing assist on and alpha lock, our color set to off white. And now we can just color straight onto our sleeves to easily switch out that color. So now that should leave us with something like this on our base. And before we start with our actual designs, what I want to do is add in a new layer, and I'm going to call this our shadows layer. And I think this base and the shadow layer will really help us visualize things a lot clearer for our concepts today. So I'm going to turn on shadows, make sure this is set to drawing assist as well as clipping mask. And we're going to go to make sure our color is selected to black. Then we're going to go to the airbrushing section from the classic Procreate library. And I'm just going to be using a soft brush, so the one right there at the top. And now I'm just going to go through these shadows how we always do. So that's just going to be following along the edges of our mockup and just kind of tracing very softly around. Again, just following the natural lines that the mockup creates itself. And I like to lay the shadows on pretty thick at first because we can always go back and make adjustments to them. I'm also going to drop our opacity down to about 50 for now. And I'm going to get in this collar area as well, and some up here by our shoulder area. So now that we have our base color and our shadows, we should be looking at something like this. And I think this is going to make for a great base for our graphic concepts today. So now we can jump right into those. So first what I want to do is go ahead and add in a new layer. And on this new layer, we're going to go up here to our actions menu. We're going to go to add, and let's go ahead and add in some text because we're going to be working with some text-based graphics today. So I'm just going to tap into this and pull up the keyboard. For today, I'm just going to be using SPLY, which is going to be supply, like Quattro Supply. And then we're going to change this to that same off-white color we used on the sleeves, just so that kind of blends together pretty nicely. So just make sure that that's the color that we're using for our supply design here. And I'm going to expand this out. The font that we're going to be using for all of the concepts today is going to be called Athletic. I'll be sure to link this one in the description below as well if you guys are interested in using the same one and following along. But yes, we have our SPLY here. And again, at the top here, we have this blue and green dot, which is always going to tell us where the center of our design is. So we can always line that up with the middle of our screen. I'm going to edit the style really quick because this Y is pretty far out there. So that's just going to be a kerning adjustment. So in between the L and the Y, I'm going to pull this over slightly until everything looks like it has about the same amount of distance between the characters. Okay, and then let's just make sure that's still aligned. So this SPLY typed out here in this athletic font is going to kind of make up our base for our graphics today. So we could just call this our SPLY base. And this is going to kind of be our building block that we're going to be building off of our other concepts. So from here, what we can do is go ahead and duplicate our base. And we can go ahead and lock our base down. We won't be needing that for a second. So now we have our second base, and on this one, we're going to rename it, and let's call this our SPLY, our outline. So now here on this outline one, we're going to tap into it, and we're going to edit the text. And now we're going to go to edit style. And over here in the attribute section, we're going to see a couple things. So there's going to be a right align, a left align, a middle align, straight align as well. But there's also going to be an underline section, and there's going to be a vertical align section as well. And what we want to actually do is use this middle one, and this is going to be the outline section. What that does is it creates an outline of our text, which has always been a staple in streetwear and collegiate style graphics. And this one does need a little bit of adjusting, so we can realign that with the middle of our screen. Again, tap into it and edit our style so we get some good kerning between these characters again, just so we can really make sure that everything is readable as well. So make sure everything has, and just like that, we have our second style now. So now that that one looks good, let's go ahead and lock this and hide that one as well. Let's revisit our base, and we're going to duplicate that again, just because we're going to be working off of our base like I said. So we can hide those two. And now we're on our supply base 3. We can rename this our supply arch. And here on our supply arch concept, obviously we're going to be arching our text. And in order for us to do that, what we want to do is go up here to our arrow tool, and then we're going to go down here to warp. And what that's going to do is put a grid kind of around our text, and that's going to be very helpful for this arch process. So what we want to do is first look at this top line here, and we're going to start pulling up very slightly on that top line of the grid until it creates a nice arch in itself. And as we see, our text is already starting to kind of follow that wave as well. But after that one looks good, we want to move down to our next one and just start pulling up slightly again. And we want to be very, very subtle with it, very gentle, not too aggressive, because then it'll really throw everything off. And then once that one looks good, we move down to our next line. Again, repeating the same process. You can also go back up to the upper ones to kind of just make sure everything stays on line with how you want it to go as well. And then once that one looks good, we'll move down to our final line down here. And this is going to kind of just round everything out. So we're just going to be pulling this up slightly as well, just to kind of round out that bottom. And also that text is now rasterized, as we see at the top, that little red alert, which means we can no longer go back and edit it. But that's fine, because again, we still have our base if we wanted to go back and make any adjustments there. But we have our supply arch now, and what we could do here is kind of expand this to size. We could also freeform it to make it very large like that. There's a lot of places you could take it from here, but I think kind of having it at a size like that and then dropping that down right about there so it still fits on that chest area looks really nice. And that's going to be our supply arch design. So now we can lock this one down and hide that one as well. So now we're 3 designs in. Now I want to go back to our base. We're going to duplicate that, bring that to the top. And here we're going to rename this and call this our supply stitch. So supply stitch. Okay. So now here on our supply stitch layer, the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and duplicate this. So now we have 2 supply stitch layers, and on this bottom one, the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and rasterize it, and I'm going to drag it down slightly below our main design, and I'm just going to drag the color black onto all of these letters now that it's rasterized, which will kind of create like a cool little drop shadow effect between our 2 layers, which is basically just staggering the black and the white outlines, which will create that effect. Okay, but now that we're here, what I want to do is go ahead and merge these 2 together. So we're going to merge our black and our white together. We're going to add in a new layer, and from here I'm going to go to Quatro's brushes using the plain stitch brush. And now what I want to do is just kind of zoom into our letters here, and I'm going to just start using that plain stitch brush to create a nice little stitching effect all the way around our letters. And a quick pro tip, if you're working on a font like this one, which has a lot of straight lines, what you want to do is go ahead and draw out your line. And even if it's crooked, you can hold it at the end. And what that'll do is kind of snap it into place to make the process a lot simpler. So if you're not the best at drawing straight lines, you can kind of do something like that, and it'll automatically lock it in for you however you'd want it to go. I'm just going to be following around these letters really quick, kind of speed run through this. And I'll check back with you guys in a quick second when that is done. And when we're done with that plain stitch brush, it should look something like this. So it goes from that to this, which just makes it look a little bit more realistic. And even if we wanted to take this a step further, what we could do is just kind of zoom into one of these letters here and create some stray kind of strings coming off to emphasize a little bit of a distressed effect, which can definitely look cool depending on the piece that you're working on. But I think for this, we're just going to leave it a little bit more simple as is. So that's going to be our supply stitch design. Now let's go back through what we have so far. So again, we started with our supply base. We now have our outline. We have our arch design. We have our stitch design. And then we're going to do one more to round out. So again, we're going to duplicate our base, bring that to the top, unlock it. And we're going to rename this and call this our supply distress. So let's go ahead and turn that layer on and see what we can get into here. So first things first, what I want to do is go ahead and rasterize this layer. And now on the supply distress, what I want to do is also turn on a mask. So what the mask is going to do is kind of act as a shield. So anything that we do to kind of damage our text will not actually affect it. It's only affecting our shield, which is going to be our mask. So if I want to erase this, that's not actually erasing our text. That's only affecting this mask that we have turned on here. Okay. So again, let's go ahead and start a new mask. And the first thing that I want to do is go up here to our Quattros brushes. And I'm going to find the rough wash brush first. Okay. I'm going to make sure it's selected to black. Make sure that's a decent size as well. So we'll keep it at about 50. And there's a lot of ways that we kind of approach our distressing to this design. So we can start out by doing something very light, just kind of going over with the total kind of distressing, or we can go back and kind of do a little bit more sharper in certain places, something like that, to give a different kind of effect. But here's really where you can get really creative with things in terms of the distressing and how you want your styling to go with your designs. And a quick tip is we can change our color to white on the mask, and we can kind of go back and erase what we've done, only again affecting the mask. So black will take away and white will add it back. And that's one way. So this is with the rough wash brush. I'm going to clear this mask really quick. And if we didn't want to do that, we can also go to something like the acid wash 2 brush. Again, still on our mask. And this brush is a little bit more like a spray. So it gives a little bit more of like a speckled effect, which also looks pretty cool in certain contexts. But I would really suggest you guys just kind of play around with a bunch of different brushes, whether it's from my Procreate pack or any of the generic Procreate brushes. Like this is a brush called For No, which I've never seen before. So we're going to try this one out together really quick. It looks almost like a animal texture, like a jaguar or something. So that's just another way that we can kind of affect this text. That looks looks really cool actually. But there's a lot of different ways we can kind of approach the distressing, you know, whether that's adding a pattern on or whether that's actually distressing the actual design. You know, there's also halftones. There's just a lot of ways that you can be creative and playful with it. I would definitely suggest you guys try all those out. But I think I really like the way the Acid Wash 2 brush looked. And now we're going to kind of go around and, you know, just add that in certain places, kind of fade that up. So a little bit more heavy at the bottom, and that just creates a nice little faded ombre effect. But now what I want to do is go back through all of our layers that we worked on today and just kind of go back through our designs. So again, we started off with this plain supply base. Looks fine, looks great, very classic, but there's just a lot of places that we can take this to be a lot more creative with the concepts and designs that we're making. Then we went on to our outline, pretty basic again, but the outline is just a staple within clothing design in general, so definitely want to know how to do that. Then we move on to our supply arch, which is personally one of my favorite designs to work on. I love the old college vintage vibes, so this design is very helpful in creating concepts like that. So then we move on to our supply stitch design here, and this is just that patch effect. So whether you're using it like this or you wanted to create a patch on the side of a sleeve or anything like that, this will kind of be the method that you'd follow to create something in that vein. And then finally, last but not least, we have our supply distressing. And again, like we saw, there's so many different ways to take this, whether it be with the pattern or with the distressing brushes. And there's also a lot of potential for you to mix and match a lot of these concepts together to create a completely new concept on your own, which I would definitely recommend you guys do. But yeah, I would definitely suggest you guys kind of play around with these different methods for your creative projects, things like that. But yeah, I think that about wraps up our concepts for today. And yeah, if you learned something, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All those good things. The mock-ups, brushes, and a bunch of other products of mine are available now on my website at quattrosupply.com. I definitely recommend you guys check those out. And of course, there's a lot we didn't get to go over today. If you guys want a part 2, just make sure you leave that in the comments below, and I got y'all with that. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.